Today, I'm going to be talking about why I left New York to live in LA, and I want to give a big shout out to Surfshark VPN for sponsoring this video. So I just got back to LA, I was in New York for 1 week, and the support on my last video was crazy. And in that video, I said if I get more comments and likes, then I'll move to New York.
If this gets more likes than comments,
More comments and likes.
No, okay, fine.
And I feel like I should have specified something. I'm getting a ton of people just spamming the comments. But in this video, I've decided I'm going to talk about why I left New York in the first place, and if I'd consider moving back to New York. Enjoy the video. It took me 10 minutes to get here because I still get shy talking to the camera when I'm by myself. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about why I left New York and my experience living in New York for 1 year. Some of you guys might know I graduated from Boston University with computer science, and after that I got a job in New York City. So right after graduating, I drove down to New York and I didn't know anyone in the city. I moved to New York knowing that I'd pretty much be alone, starting fresh. And the nature of my job, I was a software engineer consultant and we were based out of a WeWork. And it was kind of weird because it was mostly remote. We could go to the WeWork if we wanted to, but my team wasn't even based in New York. So going to a WeWork would be kind of what I'm doing right now. I would go to the WeWork just to use it as like a cafe, which actually kind of sucked. When I got to my job on the first day of work, there was like one other person there and he helped me get onboarded. And I sat there at my desk and I was like, holy crap, is this it? I still remember the feeling of sitting down and just reality hitting me. I was like, wow, I'm pretty much gonna be alone most days of the week out here. And it was a harder transition because I had just come from college where I was living with my best friends. I was seeing my best friends every day, every night. So moving to New York where I didn't know anybody and I had a job and an apartment where I'm pretty much alone was a huge shock to me. Jesus. But anyway, after a couple of days, I got my own routine going. I started getting used to being alone. And since I couldn't make friends from work, I relied on social media. I had maybe 12K Instagram followers, and because in the last 2 years of college, I was really focusing on photography and making travel videos. And when I got to New York, I was thinking, how many travel videos can I make? That summer I met Elliot, and I was like, maybe I should vlog. So I posted my first video. It was called Day in the Life of a College Grad, something like that. It was super awkward, super cringy. It's now privated, but that kind of kickstarted this new thing, and it was, at the time, it was my thing to do on the weekends. I had maybe 1,000 subscribers. I made this video called Day in the Life of a Software Engineer, and that video ended up blowing up, surprisingly, and I got, I don't know, it currently has like 800,000 views, and that's how my channel got to like 10K subscribers and 20K subscribers. Almost all of my subscribers when I had 20K were from that video, and it kind of molded my current audience now. So my routine when I was in New York for that 1 year was Monday through Friday, I was for the most part alone, just doing my thing, working, going home, going to the gym. And in the weekends, I would hang out with my friends. It was great to have the weekends with them, but I didn't have anyone in the weekdays, which is, you know, it's like 80% of your week. I ended up hardly vlogging anymore. My channel kind of just died for a couple months because I didn't know what to film. I was just doing my own thing. I didn't feel like I had that vlog-worthy life. Now, the topic of this video, why did I leave New York to move to LA? When I was a senior in college, I had spring break, and I visited LA with my best friends. So we spent a week here. All right, here we are at Santa Monica Pier. Yo. I fell in love with LA, and I was like, wow, LA is pretty cool. And when I was applying to jobs, senior year, I was applying to 50% of my jobs in New York and 50% of my jobs in LA because I was happy to go to either city. Before we move on with today's video, I want to thank today's sponsor, Surfshark VPN. Now, for those of you that don't know what a VPN is, it stands for Virtual Private Network, and what Surfshark does is they encrypt your personal information and protect your online data. Now, if you're someone like me, I hardly spend my work days at home. I spend most of my week working from cafes. WeWorks, coffee shops, and I do all my work using public Wi-Fi. And many people don't realize, but when you use your computer in public Wi-Fi, like in a Starbucks, that makes it really easy for hackers to steal your personal information. So what Surfshark VPN does is they encrypt your online data and keep your information protected. Surfshark also allows you to change the location of your device so that you can virtually travel anywhere around the globe. And a really good use case for this is using Netflix. One of my favorite TV shows is How I Met Your Mother, and that show is not in US Netflix, but I do know that they have that in Philippines Netflix. So what I can easily do is change the location of my device using Surfshark VPN, and I can check out all the shows that are in the Philippines Netflix and watch How I Met Your Mother from the US. If you use the link in my description, you'll get 83% off and 3 months free, so go check them out. Link in my description. Back to the video. So when 2020 came, it was around February, March, COVID hit New York. New York was going crazy. My parents were really worried for me. They wanted me to get out of the city, so I went down to Florida. My friends in New York, they also moved out, and they also planned to move out for like a year. And while I was in Florida, I was thinking, why would I go back to New York? I don't think I'd have anybody if I did. I ended up signing a lease in LA to start in June. So I made the decision to move to LA and try it out because I feel like it's the perfect time. The reason why I left New York was 1, COVID was hitting, my friends all left, and 2, my experience was not that great. It's kind of funny because like everybody's telling me to go back to New York in my comments, but I feel like I just moved here. I don't know, I have a car, I just signed a lease, and I feel like I have to make home base somewhere. I feel like I have to commit to one city before moving back. And also LA's really starting to feel like home for me. But after a while, I'm definitely open to going back to New York. I kind of left New York mid-COVID with the idea that I would come back to New York another time and try it again. I definitely feel like my life in New York would be completely different if I were to try again now. 1, I feel like YouTube is a little bit different for me now, and I have a lot more friends that are back in the city, so who knows. That's all for this segment of why I left New York. I'm in Santa Monica Beach. One of the best reasons why I love living in LA. The weather is always like this. When I was in New York just last week, it was raining so hard for 3 days straight. So then I was like, wow, LA is pretty good weather. Maybe I'm glad I moved to LA. Thanks for watching today's vlog. Hit that like button for me and don't forget to check out Surfshark VPN, link in description. See you guys next week. It's slippery. Ah, my wrist.
Dude, that's so risky with holding the camera too. Careful.
Film me.
Careful, Jen.
Right now.